Heyo everyone, and welcome to my first fully survival-friendly datapack. In this datapack, I've implemented Feruchemy from Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series. As a quick spoiler warning, I won't be going into any plot details for Mistborn, but I will, of course, be going into the details of how Feruchemy works and how I've implemented that in Minecraft. So, if you haven't read the books yet, there's nothing to be on the lookout for here, but I'd also totally recommend reading the books. They were fun enough that I decided to try to recreate some of the experience in Minecraft. In Mistborn, people who can access Feruchemy, called Feruchemists, can essentially use different types of metals as batteries to store attributes of themselves. There are several different kinds of metals that can be used, and each one stores a different attribute. One of the clearest examples is the metal pewter, which can store strength. While touching a piece of pewter, a Feruchemist could store some of their strength into it. While storing, the Feruchemist would be noticeably weaker, but as soon as they stopped storing, they would return to normal. Then they could tap upon that stored strength, and they would become noticeably stronger. Another important note is that Feruchemists can change the rate at which they're storing or tapping. For example, they could store a small percent of their strength, maybe 10%, over several weeks. And then, when they need a burst of strength, they could draw all that stored up strength in a matter of minutes or seconds if they needed to, becoming superhumanly strong for a short amount of time. For implementing Feruchemy in Minecraft, I decided to make Metalmind's rare artifacts that can be occasionally found in loot chests. Once you've found a Metalmind, you can wear it in your offhand slot. You can see in third-person mode, you're just wearing it on your arm like a bracelet. To store an attribute, you crouch and then right-click, and you can right-click again to store faster. To tap, you right-click when you're not crouching, and that will either make you store slower, stop storing, or you can tap at a higher level. For most Metalminds, storing and tapping are taken care of with status effects. So here, storing gives me weakness 1, or if I'm storing faster, weakness 4 and mining fatigue. And then conversely, tapping gives me either strength 2, or tapping more gives me strength 4 and haste. It is similar for most of the other Metalminds. So the steel Metalmind that stores speed gives 2 different levels of a slowness effect, depending on how fast you're storing, and then 2 different levels of speed depending on how fast you're tapping. The tin Metalmind can be found in a pillager outpost. It gives blindness and darkness when you're storing, but when you're tapping, gives night vision. The gold Metalmind can be found in desert pyramids, so in the treasure chest by the TNT trap. For storing, it gives you a poison effect, which will store health, but never outright kill you. And then tapping gives you regeneration. And tapping has the benefit of it will give you regeneration, but it won't drain the Metalmind unless you are actually healing damage. So you can leave this on all the time, and it will only kick in once you've taken damage. Bend alloy stores energy or hunger, and it can be found in buried treasure chests. Like the gold Metalmind, it gives you a hunger effect while you're storing, and then you can tap to give a saturation effect. And like the gold Metalmind, it also only drains when you're actually hungry and actually using up that hunger bar. The End City treasure chests have a chance of containing an iron Metalmind. This one is unique in that it's one of the few Metalminds that storing gives a better effect than tapping. So, for storing, you either get a jump boost effect as you're lighter so you can jump higher, or if you're storing faster, you get jump boost and slow falling. And this is like you're so much lighter that air resistance starts to make you fall slower. And then to tap it, you get a high level jump boost effect that actually lowers the height of your jump, so you can't even jump a full block. And then the level 2 tapping gives you a different high level jump boost effect that just makes it so you get a couple pixels off the ground. So you're so heavy you can barely even hold yourself up anymore. The Stronghold Library will contain a Copper Metalmind. In the books, Copper Metalminds store memories. I've implemented that as storing experience. So when you tap the Metalmind, you'll drain experience from it into your experience bar. A full Metalmind will contain about 30 levels of experience, just a bit more to ensure you have enough to do a full 30 level enchantment. And then you can store in the same way. It just goes from your experience bar into the Metalmind. The last type of Metalmind I've implemented is a Nicrosil mind. It will spawn in Ancient City loot chests, and it stores investiture, which is kind of the Mistborn term for magic in general. I've implemented that as having it store enchantments. So you can use this to transfer enchantments from one item to another, including to items that either normally couldn't have enchantments, or you can get combinations of enchantments that wouldn't normally be possible. So to store, you have the Metalmind in your offhand, and your enchanted item in your main hand, and you just shift right click, and it takes the bottom enchantment from the item and puts it on the Nicrosil mind, and you can store up to 4 enchantments this way. And then to transfer an enchantment, you just hold the item you want to enchant in your main hand and right click, and it puts the bottom enchantment on the Nicrosil bracer onto the item. And so you can do that with all sorts of enchantments. You can move them back and forth. So you can put enchantments on items that can't normally be enchanted. So I can have a stick with knockback. You can use that as like a baseball bat in minigames or something. But yeah, you can also do weird combinations. You can put infinity and mending both on the same bow, which normally you're not allowed. And you can craft the crazy armor set that has all of the types of protection built in. So yeah, it's very much a endgame item, kind of game breaking, but also can lead to a lot of fun creating fun, crazy combinations. In addition to implementing the Metalminds and adding them to loot chests, the Datapack also includes a handful of advancements. They have their own Feruchemist tab in the advancement menu. There are 8 advancements, 1 each for finding the Metalminds for the first time, and then a few of the Metalminds have more of an Easter egg advancement that is usually a reference to something either in Mistborn or in one of Brandon Sanderson's other books in the Cosmere. Be on the lookout for a technical explanation video sometime in the rate I've been going, probably the next couple of months, but going into the functions and advancements and item modifiers and all that used to make the Datapack But yeah, be on the lookout for that. There's a link to the data pack and the resource pack down in the description. If you have any questions, you can ask them on the Discord server. There's also a link for that in the description. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the future.